Good afternoon, everyone. We'll give everybody just a few minutes to get logged on, and then we'll get started. Okay, good afternoon again, and welcome to the webinar. I am Elizabeth Wojcik, and I'm the Director of Client Strategy and Development here at CSI. We are glad you were able to join us today to talk about why you should consider attending the upcoming NiUG conference in April. We're going to review some benefits of attending, what will be offered as training opportunities, benefits of membership, and then we will end with some testimonials from members that have redeemed their benefits of NiUG to help them reach goals for their organization. So let's get started. So some benefits of attending the NiUG conference include, I think the most important is networking. You're able to meet some of your peers in the community, as well as, fraternals and non-fraternals, to compare and share information and great ideas to be able to take back to your organization. Even those that are outside your typical market, you can learn a lot from because they're maybe facing the same obstacles that you are. Of course, it's a great time to learn about what is new that potentially your organization could benefit from. You can find vendors that you could reach out to for support, or even peers with more experience with IMS that could be a huge assistance to yourself. Training is a large reason to attend. You can receive a variety of topics as well as access to resources post-conference that can help you and your staff understand any area of IMS. This variety gives you, in my opinion, a better bang for your buck in regards to training, as you can learn a lot in just 2 days compared to, sitting through several online classes over several months. As I said before, building relationships with attendees can be a huge benefit. When you need to reach out to them in the future to get their advice or assistance on an issue that you're working on, those relationships are very helpful. Lastly, the conference is just fun. Putting a bunch of tech geeks in a hotel for a few days, you can be assured you'll have a great time. So not only will we learn more about how to reach our goals with IMS, we can have fun with each other. To give you some numbers that may be helpful when you're presenting a proposal to management to approve your attending the conference, this is based on some averages of training class prices. Your typical 2-hour training session could cost about $199. If we break that down into what you receive at NiUG, you're saying over $2,000. The non-monetary benefits, in my opinion, are much greater and carry over year to year. If you do not have a line item in your budget to attend at least one NiUG conference a year, we highly recommend that you lobby to add this to your budget. As you bring back new ideas and new solutions to your organization, they will see those benefits as well. So normally the structure of NiUG has 2 conferences a year. It would be awesome if you could attend both, but attending at least one would be ideal. If you can have multiple staff members attend, that's even better. When you have multiple people going with you, you can split up the session so that you can each share your experiences with the team. While each conference offers great training opportunities, usually the fall conference includes more about new product launches, but we're seeing that kind of transition and more of that in the spring as well, mainly due to how ASI is kind of now releasing their updates. There are also awards opportunities at the fall conference, and I don't think you necessarily have to be in attendance to win, but usually they want you to submit information about how you're doing great things with IMUS. So start thinking about ideas of areas that you can submit for the award. Usually the reward is a comp registration for the next conference, which is a huge benefit. So if we look at, specifically the April conference coming up, if you haven't had a chance to peek at the agenda, I just kind of wanted to give you a teaser of what's going to be available there. Usually always they have a pre-conference training day, and it's on Monday this year. And this is a great opportunity to get some more intense training on site. And it's also great because you're sitting by your peers that you can talk to and build those relationships with. Those of you, for example, that are using our ICE product and want to be able to write your own reports to deploy in ICE, or even those that are wanting to convert some of your Crystal reports to SSRS and use on the staff site, you really want to think about going to the SSRS report writing class. It will be super beneficial to you. I know several of you are also working in your RISE sites and playing around with those microsites and events. There's also some great opportunities to do a half-day training on those areas as well and get some good ideas. I know several of you are considering customizing your RISE staff site, as sometimes the defaults don't really apply to your organization. The Part 1 and 2 classes would be super helpful and give you some information that you could train your staff. How do you present to your staff, and how can you help them understand how they can convert to using the staff site rather than the IMUS desktop? So if you're able to come in a day early and take some of these classes, we highly recommend it. Conference day 1, this is where we go. We start off with a general session. They're always great about having a good keynote speaker. So this time we've got, just lost my notes on her name, sorry. Here we go. Mary Byers is the author of Race for Relevance, 5 Radical Changes for Associations. So she will talk about how to survive in today's highly competitive market for associations. So it should be a very, very good topic to hear and applicable to all of us that we can take back to our organization and share. We then go into breakout sessions. This is where you can kind of pick and choose what sessions you would like to attend. No worries on if you miss one of these, as you can access the slides or resources and recordings on the NiUG website after the conference. For those that didn't attend the pre-conference half-day session on the staff site, there also is a breakout session on kind of customizing your staff site and getting some tips there. Continuing on into day 1, there's some more breakout sessions listed here. Several of you are interested in process automation and what it can do in the staff site and how it compares to Task Center. So this will be a great session to attend to get more information on that. Also, some of you are working on your conference registration right now and probably will be having those events registrations live before the event. But this might be a good opportunity to talk about how that experience went for you, as well as others talking about their experiences to see if you can get some tips and tricks from them. Day 2, we go into another general session where we hear from ASI leaders in what they are saying that's coming out, what's up and coming, and what their path is for the product. So it's always good to get an update on where the product is going. We then go into more breakout sessions. Those working on your staff site and customizing it may want to attend the IQA session. This is where you can learn how to update some of those default IQA reports and even create new ones on your own to make that staff site more applicable to you. Conference continuing day 2, some more sessions here. There's another opportunity to learn more about process automation if you didn't catch it the day before. The IMUS tips and tricks is always a great session. It's always good when you can learn from others and maybe they've gone through a pain point that hopefully you won't have to go through in the future. But it's great that we're able to learn from each other, so definitely be prepared to take down some notes. Not only is the conference a great experience, but just being a member of NiUG gets you lots of perks. Listed here are several of those perks, and some of our members that are going to talk today are going to kind of refer to these. But these are benefits that you can utilize year-round, not just at the conference. But again, I'll have our members speak on how they're benefiting from these perks here. Okay, now I'm going to open the floor to our guest presenter, James Jones. He is the Director of Information Technology at Sigma Chi, and I'll just hand it over to you, James. I have some slides for you.
All righty, thank you very much. Just to give you guys a little bit of background as where we come from IMIS. Our company's been with IMIS for about 20 years. You know, have used it forever, and we kind of really didn't explore what all IMIS can do. And so a couple of years ago when I came on staff, I went to the NiUG training that they had in Baltimore and then also the one in Austin. And these are a couple of things that I thought we really benefited from. First, I want to say that it was probably the best conference that I've ever been to, and I really mean that sincerely. It was extremely fun, and I learned so much during the conference. But here's a couple of things. Networking, you know, meeting fraternal clients that use IMIS and seeing how they use IMIS. Also meeting non-fraternal clients like Keith over at Irrigation Association or Andy over at Land Trust Alliance, and the ability to bounce ideas off of them and see how they use IMIS, both from a membership standpoint as well as just fundraising or dues or however it may be. Also meeting other vendors. You know, we've been a long-time client of CSI, but we didn't really have any other vendors. So if CSI didn't have the tool for us, we didn't really know where to go. We didn't go out to another vendor to look for it. So that was a great opportunity as well. As far as training is concerned, last year we launched our member site on Rise, as well as started the staff site. And that's something that has been in IMIS for a while, but we've never really taken advantage of. So that's a great tool as well. Reporting, as far as learning SQL, I don't come from a typical IT background, so I didn't take classes on SQL in college or anything like that. Learning IQAs and SSRS, those are things that are new to me. So getting trained, getting some type of formal training on those really benefited us. We also have started doing our event registration through Rise as well. And there's been some challenges specifically with event registration, but I've learned and I've built connections from NiUG to, if I need something done, I've been able to go to one of my connections and say, hey, how would you do this? And kind of get some more information from them. Fundraising, of course, a lot of organizations use the fundraising module. I went to one of their fundraising 101 classes, and I kind of learned, you know, why is it that a pledge, when a pledge is made, comes in as a transaction at that time versus when they actually make the payment. Little tips like that kind of help along the way. Exhibitor Showcase, we actually are launching our mobile app, and I wouldn't have found that exhibitor. The exhibitor Data Impact Solutions actually integrates 100% with IMIS, so all of my data is retained with inside of IMIS. LMS systems are there, email marketing, communities, forums, and other integrations. So if you're using things like GoToWebinar or you know, Real Magnet for your email marketing, there's integrations that are built directly with IMIS so that you don't have to go out and build those yourself and waste your time building that integration. As well as some of the upcoming things I'm excited for this NiUG conference is process automation, alerts, and email automation inside IMIS. We use, like I said, Real Magnet for our email marketing, but the ability to say when someone donates or becomes a member, to shoot them an automatic email right in IMIS without having to go through a third-party system is great. Last couple things, outside resources, like she kind of touched on before, the listserv is great. If you got a quick question and you run into an error or you're just trying to see how somebody would do something, there's a great community out there. Being a member of NiUG, regardless of whether or not you go to the conference, being a member of NiUG, these are kind of some of the things that you get to take advantage of. On-demand webinars, C-Systems has some great webinars on their website, as well as the NiUG LMS that's available to you guys is pretty awesome. And like it was mentioned, that if you aren't able to attend a session, you can always go back and look at that session online. So there was 2 sessions a couple of years ago that I wanted to go to that conflicted, so I was able to go back and watch that session online. Idea scale, the ability for you to take your idea that how you think something in IMIS should work and get votes up so that hopefully it gets brought to ASI for them to include into IMIS. The IMIS community website, usually if I'm Googling IMIS and then whatever my issue is, that's usually one of the top hits. Of course, the IMIS help website for all of your tutorials and videos, and they're coming out with some great content in order to show you how to use IMIS. And then product owner webinars, which happen I think on a bi-weekly basis or bi-monthly basis. They give you kind of some tips about what they're building into IMIS. And then, of course, lastly, ASI training, which all of those things that I mentioned, I would not have known about had I not gone to NiUG and gotten connected with the people in order to start me down that path of learning IMIS. So I just want to say thanks for CSI for putting this together and for pushing me to go to NiUG.
Thank you so much, James. That was such valuable information. We appreciate you sharing. So now I'm going to invite Jodio Tool. She is the IT Director at Pi Beta Phi, and I'm going to hand it over to you, Jody.
Hi, thanks, Elizabeth. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Great. So I feel the same way that James does about the NiUG conferences and all of the opportunities. I wanted to just take a quick second to explain when I came into IMIS about 8 years ago, my boss at the time, one of my mentors, suggested that I get involved with the NiUG community, and he couldn't have given me better advice. He said, go to the conferences, read everything you can, and I'm so glad that he did, because with that education and knowledge, we were able to take our IMIS database to places that it had never been. So kind of like James, you know, it might even sound a little sickening. I'm definitely an IMIS cheerleader. If you know me, you know that. So I just wanted to touch on a few key things. James really talked about a lot of reasons that you should go. The #1 reason that I go to the NiUG conferences is definitely the event swag for my kids. Totally, that's not why, but it is kind of fun anyway. I do get to visit with all the vendors. The return on investment piece that Elizabeth talked about at the beginning is really, in my mind, the #1 reason to go. So if you imagine, you know, we open a ticket with our AISP reseller vendor. It seems quick and easy, right? But all of a sudden, you've racked up 8 to 10 hours. In reality, that's about the same price as a conference. So I don't know if Doug's going to appreciate me saying this or not, but we save a ton of money by sending our staff to these conferences. I think, though, they'd rather us learn how to fish than to do some of the stuff that we learn at these conferences. They'd rather help us do things that are a little more strategic. So that's just one example of where we can save money, you know, more dollars in the bottom line for us if we actually spend just a little bit of money in education. And speaking about education, the professional and personal development that the NiUG community has offered me over the past 8 years, not only does it make me a better employee, but it's part of our mission in the fraternal world to educate ourselves. So I think if we can live our mission, then that speaks volumes as to why we should go to the NiUG conferences. And from the networking perspective, I echo everything that both Elizabeth and James have said. I really enjoy using the networking to meet others who are using other applications and platforms. So whether it's like simple Excel tricks that they're doing, or they've integrated something different and new into their information system that, you know, we've never even thought about. You know, they send out PDF reports on a recurring basis, or how they're using process automation, or, you know, anything that's different. I even met someone one time who was coming from a competitive product back to IMIS because it just couldn't work for them. So again, it's probably sickening to hear me say this, but this is the best place to meet people who really enjoy using the product and making it do for us what we need it to do. As far as more networking, I think that having access to presenters directly after their presentation, so there are some things that I take online because I need to learn some more things, or maybe I didn't get a chance to go to that conference, so I'll chip in and watch it online. But having the access to that presenter, either right after the session or maybe over lunch or something, that's invaluable to me. I heard what you said, but I want to take it a step further, or do you think it can do this? We just don't get that kind of access to these kind of experts all the time. Which leads me to my last point, that occasionally I'm able to give back to the community, and that means a lot to me. Being in the service industry of IT, it means a lot to me to be able to do things for other people. So whether I'm just sharing one-on-one over lunch or during a network event, or maybe as a mentor to a new attendee, or maybe even if I'm able to conduct some training, I always enjoy helping each other. And in this community, that's how I've done what I've been able to do. So if I'm able to help someone else, then that makes me feel even that much better. What I can recommend is that if you are able to go, that you use the ribbons on people's badges. Talk to other people who are like you or who you think might care. If they're a speaker, ask them what they're giving sessions about. If they're a new attendee, talk to them, make them feel welcome. And if there's a board member and you have feedback for NiUG, they want to hear that too. So that's all.
That's great, Jody. Thank you so much. And I agree with everything that James and Jody said. Jody's been at NiUG how many times now?
I've lost count. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. God. At least once a year I usually go.
Yeah. James has been a couple of times, maybe, James. Is that right?
Yeah, 2 times.
Okay. But you see the difference is that those even going for several years, ongoing, still get something out of the conference, and they just continue to grow themselves in their organization so they can just continue that benefit. So there's just so much to gain from it. I'm also going to show the final slide is some contact information for Michelle Morgan, who's the Executive Director. So if you had some unique questions about the conference, she would be a great contact for you to talk to. And just a reminder on the dates, it is the 11th through the 13th. So 11th is that pre-conference day training, so the official conference starts on the 12th. There is early bird registration that ends this Friday, so we would love for you guys to be able to take some of the information you learned today, go to your management or whoever needs to approve this type of item and ask for that so you can register soon and even save more dollars. I'll ask if Doug has any final words.
I would just like to say thank you to our presenters, including you, Elizabeth, as well. This is something we believe in. We timed this webinar so that you could save the $130. That's, if you're going to go to the full day on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday, it's $130 savings if you can register by February 26th. As James said, great way to meet some of your peers. It is about saving money, and as much as I hate to say it, it's about saving money by not spending it on your vendor, who for this webinar is CSI, and that's okay with us. Knowing how to fish is so much better. You'll be so much happier with your system. If you always have to turn to us for every little thing, it's going to get expensive, and eventually you're going to get tired of us. So this conference is wonderful. We've supported it for years. We're a gold sponsor. We believe in it. Go, and like I said, James, a lot of the stuff James has done on his own. A lot of the stuff Jody's done, she's done on her own. She has a full team there as well at Pi-Fi that she manages, and the stuff they're doing is mind-blowing. Sometimes I'll secretly admit, we go, how did they do that? We better figure that out. That was pretty cool. So they really get a lot out of these conferences, and I just want to thank you for giving up a half hour of your time on this wonderful Tuesday to hear our spiel.
Well, and anybody on the call right now, if you happen to have a question, we're happy to take it. You can type it into the chat window, and we can read your question and hopefully can answer it. So we'll give you just a minute to insert some questions for us. I think I'll, just giving a plug as well to what Jody said and Doug said about, CSI wants to be that partner that moves you forward in your strategic plan. And if you're able to maintain those day-to-day requests and needs, that is fantastic. So we can really work on those really difficult projects with you and get you where you need to be. So we are happy for you to be as self-sufficient as possible. Any questions so far? I'm not sure if I see them, Brittany or Doug.
No, I don't see any questions, so that means you did an awesome job. Wait, hold on,
awesome.
Allison.
Uh-oh.
Hold on. Oh, can you send the slide over with the cost savings? Allison, I think Jermaine would like to see that.
Absolutely, I will do that. If anybody would like it, just feel free to message me. We're also going to post the recording on the website really quickly. So, but I can pull out that unique slide because that would be great to submit with your proposal.
And just, I haven't gone to it, but if you do go to the NiUG website, they've got a conference approvals toolkit on the website where you can justify your attendance and do a conference cost analysis there as well. So there's some stuff on there as well. Elizabeth, they use slightly different numbers than yours, but they come out to about the exact same.
Okay. I think our formula is different.
It even has a template that's a letter to your supervisor where it just does the job for you. So it makes it real easy.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, neither of those cost savings, they're just plain and simple. Here's what you would say versus buying the training on the street. They don't take into the account what being self-sufficient is going to save your organization in the long run, and that's the real benefit of this conference.
Well,
as much as it kills me to say that.
Well, like we talked about the networking, I mean, that's just the critical, glue that holds everything together. If you're doing those online conferences or online trainings, you're not having those networking opportunities or peer-to-peer conversations. So the added benefit is just really huge.
Right, and you get to see us too.
Yay!
Yay. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Everybody have a good rest of your day.